Okay, so I wanted to give you a few more examples of electron configurations, since I only had one example in my last video. A couple of things, though. You're going to need a periodic table. So if you don't have one, pause the video really quick and get one. So here I've got my periodic table of elements. Now this periodic table of elements actually is organized kind of funky. The shape of it, I mean, we've got this weird shape on the periodic table with these guys down here. These actually have meaning here. So what is going on here with this shape, these elements over here on the left, hydrogen, lithium, beryllium, sodium, magnesium, calcium, all of these elements, as well as helium. Technically helium also could fit like right in this box right here. These all end in an S shape. Right, so we call this the S block. They're all going to end in an S block. These elements over here in this section, they are all going to end in a P. The very, very last thing you're going to write is a P. So this is the P block. Everything here in the middle, those are all metals. Those is the D block. All of those are going to end in a D. Now Ds only show up, you only get D electrons after you have some S electrons in the energy level above it. Alright, so these always show up one energy level like below where you've started. So you go like 3s2, 3p2, 4s2, and then you go and you have 3d. So you get some 4s's before you get some 3d's. You don't get any d's until you get to the third energy level anyway, because it's the third shape. So I think one shape in the first energy level, two shapes in the second energy level, three shapes in the third energy level, four shapes in the fourth energy level. Okay, the last section, this section down below, okay, this is the F block section, so all of these are going to end with an F. All right, and F's always show up two levels down once you get some S's. So you get like a 6S, and then you get a 4F. All right, you start filling in the fourth energy level because it's the fourth shape. But you don't start filling it in until you have something in the sixth, like 2 energy levels above it. So this is kind of how it breaks down in the periodic table. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick an element. I'm going to show you like how you can use this information. So the element that I am going to do is going to be iron. Okay, so let me just get a different color here. Alright, there we go. So here is iron on the periodic table. It's atomic number 26. Alright, so with iron, I am going to start by pointing out that iron is going to end with a D, because it's in the D section, and it's also going to end D6 because it is actually in its row. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the sixth one over. And if you actually count, there's only 10 electrons that can fit into a D in one energy level, and there are actually 10 electrons listed here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 elements here, so 10 electrons. That just corresponds. This is 1 in the D, this is 2 in the D, this is 3 in the D, 4 in the D, 5 in the D, 6 in the D, 7 in the D, 8 in the D, 9 in the D, 10 in the D. And then we move on to a different orbital. Okay? So the way this works, iron is going to have basically all the electrons of the elements below it. Alright, and that's how any element is going to work. So as we kind of move through this, I'm going to kind of start this off. Let's see if I can get rid of, hold on a second, let's see if I can kind of get rid of this periodic table of elements so I have room to write up here. Okay, alright. So as I'm going to start off, I'm going to start with the elements way, way up. Okay, very, very beginning. The very first element is hydrogen. Okay, hydrogen is going to be in 1s and it's going to have 1 electron. Next one's going to be helium. Okay, and that's sort of like the end of the 1s block. There's only 2 of them there. So this is 1s, so I'm going to start this off. 1s, there's 2 of them. 2 elements, 2 electrons. Okay. After that, we move to the next energy level. Okay, we start with lithium, then we move to beryllium. So there's 2 of them there. This is the second energy level, s orbital, 2 electrons. Okay. Then after that, we go all the way across. We start with boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. There's 6 of them there. This is the second energy level still, second row. So second one, P shape, and there are 6 of them. I can barely write that 6. Hold on. There we go. Okay, that's the end of that row. So then we move to the third energy level, this row right here. Those are 3, and those are the S shape. There's an S block right here, so I know they're S. And there's 2 of them. All right, and then after that, we move all the way across the row. We get to these ones, which are P's. Okay, and remember that elements are always going to have the exact same electrons as all the elements before it, so we're just going to keep going on this pattern until we hit the element we want. All right, so these are still the third energy level. These are P's. All right, and there are 6 of those, so we're going to, oops, 6. Okay, then we move to the fourth energy level. Go to the next one, number 19, and we are in fourth, wrong color, right here. So that would be fourth energy level, S shape there, and there are 2 elements there. And then we get to the D section. Okay, so this next section here, we're in the D section. I'm stopping at iron because that's where I want to go to, because this is an example for iron. Now, in the D section, these always go to the level before it. So instead of being, I know they're in the 4th row, but earlier I kind of pointed out right here, if you take a look, and -1, basically like subtract 1 from all the D's. So this is the 4th row, so 3. We're in the 3rd energy level for this D. So it is 3D. Okay. And iron is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over. So it's 3d6. Okay, all of that added up is going to equal 26 electrons. So there's iron, and that's how this whole process works. All right. So I'm gonna kind of do another example here. Let me just clear everything. Oops. Get rid of this periodic table of the elements so I have room to write. Let's pick a different element this time. This time I am going to do something that has an F in it. Okay, so why don't we do lead, number 82. Okay, this one's gonna get kind of long. So make sure I have plenty of room up here. I'm going to start over here in the corner. So starting this off, okay, we've got hydrogen and then helium. All right, so we're going to, oops, 1s, first energy level, S shape, 2 of them. Okay, and then we're going to go down to here, 2s, 2 of them. And then we're going to go down over to here, cross the row, go all the way across. Three P this time. There's 6 of them. Okay, then we go down to the next row, right there. That's, whoa, I wrote 3, my bad. Back up. 2p, 6. That was my mistake, sorry. Then we go to the 3rd energy level. Okay, so now we're in 3s. There are 2 elements there, so 2 electrons. We're basically kind of like, hey, we're using these elements because we know that lead is going to have all of the electrons of the elements before it. Okay, then we go across this gap. We're in a 3p now, 3rd row. Is P, so 3p, and there are 6 of them. Okay, And then we go to 4. This is S, so 4S, 2 of them. Okay, and then we enter into the D's. And D's, you're going to subtract 1. Right? So this is going to be 3 instead of 4. D, 10 of them. Okay, there's 10 of them across here, so you can actually count them if you ever forget that D has 10. All right, and then we go back up to the 4th here next. All right, and there are 6 there. So this is for P. Okay, then we go next row. 5 S. There's 2 of them. Then we go back to the D's. Okay. So this is, once again, -1. So this is 4D, 10 of them. And then we go to the 5P. There's 6 of them. Okay, we're getting down there. Not quite the lead. Then we go to the 6S. Okay. There's 2 of them. And this is where it gets a little tricky. So, right here is where the periodic table splits, and we actually move down to this section here. So can you remember that right here where there's this line, that actually comes down to here into the F section. So we're not going into the D's next, we're going into the F's. So it's like down to here. Okay? So there are 14 of these, and they are F. Now F is always 2 levels below. So that's why I've got this -2 right there. Okay? So then I go back up here. 4, that's 6 minus 2. 4F, and there are 14 of them. Okay? And after we're done down here, we go back up to our D's. Okay? This is -1, so 6th row -1 is 5, so 5D, and there are 10 of them. And then we go finally and completely, we're at lead. Okay, there's only 2. 1, 2. Alright? So this is 6P2. And that's it. That's iron. Okay, so lead. So there are 2 more examples of how to actually do this for you. Okay? Hope that helps.